According to the Bible, Jesus promised a second coming, and this is AJ. AJ claims that he is that second coming. He is Jesus. He's called Controversy, claiming he is Jesus Christ, and that 2,000 years after he was crucified, he's come back to earth to spread the love of God.
He's not alone in the studio this morning. His girlfriend believes that she's Mary Magdalene, and she says she remembers watching the crucifixion, watching in horror as Jesus was nailed to the cross. This is absolutely fascinating. First of all, what do I call you? Do I call you Jesus, my Lord? What do I call, or AJ?
Definitely not my Lord. I'm nobody's Lord. Just call me AJ, or my name is Jesus, obviously, but most people don't feel comfortable calling me Jesus, so I'm happy with AJ.
Do you call him Jesus, Mary?
On occasion I do, yeah.
How does it feel, though, Jesus talking to us today and everybody watching at home and knowing that 99.9% of that audience are mocking you, are laughing at you, are saying this man is bonkers and she must be as bad as him?
Well, you know, I've experienced that kind of treatment most of my life in the first century, as well as the life now. We also receive that kind of treatment. So we're fairly used to that kind of treatment. I think when the majority of people actually hear or listen to what we say, then of course they have a much deeper interest in what's going on, and often they...
Is the second coming more difficult than the first coming?
No,
I mean, no one's going to kill you this time around. I suppose from that point of view, it's better.
Certainly, there are a lot more opportunities in this coming than in the first coming. Obviously, in the first coming, we could only spend time sharing with people through the word of mouth, whereas in this coming, we've got things like, technology to share the truth with people, which is something that we do quite a lot of nowadays.
Through what? Through Facebook and Twitter and social media, or...?
No, we only do it through YouTube or through our own website. So we only share those things, and it's all for free. Nobody has to pay anything to listen to the YouTube channel or to get anything from the website. But there's almost 1,000 hours of material.
Because there has been that accusation, hasn't there, is that people pay and you have DVDs and cassettes to listen to and books.
It's a big cult
So that,
following.
people are saying, oh, you're just creating a cult and you're exploiting people.
Yeah, that's what they say, but the reality is that we do everything for free, and we receive donations from people, obviously, because that's the only way we live. We don't have any other form of income. But usually we receive donations from people that are happy with what they're hearing, or find that it's changing their life in some way, and so they donate.
And we just want you to listen to what Jesus and Mary are saying today, and if it affects you one way or the other, or you're just going to be completely dismissive from this from the outset, let's accept what he has to say at face value, and let's listen to what the man has to say. But I would have thought, as a courtesy, if you are who you say you are, would you not have called upon the big Christian leaders and said, hello, Holy Father the Pope, just to let you know, I'm here, I'm back in town?
Well, my policy has always been, for the last 2,000 years, never to force myself onto people. So I would never force myself onto the Pope or force myself onto a religious leader to have a discussion. If they want to have a discussion with me, I'm very open to having a discussion with them.
And have they made any contact with you?
No, at this point, no, because they view me, as most people do, as some kind of cult leader who wants to do something.
Do you know how you could change that? You could change that by, for instance, these glasses of water in front of us. You could change that by turning these into wine. You could change that by, people are going to say, you know what they're going to say? They're going to say, go on then, Jesus, impress me, show me a miracle.
Prove it, yeah.
Yes, well, in the first century, whenever somebody wanted me to impress them, I generally didn't. But the reality is that it wasn't until I was 31 in the first century that I could perform any miracles at all. And I never turned water into wine, actually. That's a myth. But I did perform other miracles in the first century once I became at one with God. And as I've said to people nowadays, I'm not yet at one with God again. I've got to go through the same process that I went through in the first century. Once I become at one with God again, both of us expect to be able to perform what people might call miracles. But to us, they're just the realities of being at one with God.
Gosh, there's so much I want to talk to you about.
Yeah, you grew up in a very small community in South Australia.
I did.
So when did you believe, when did you think, I am Jesus?
Well, I've had memories all of my life, of my entire 2,000 years of life, but it's been very difficult to assimilate them psychologically into my current life. So that didn't happen until I was 40, or just after 40 years of age. But before then, I've had many.
40 or 14?
40.
14.
Yeah. Now I'm 50 now, so 10 years ago, around about, but I've had many memories from the age of 2 onwards. But
So when you say memories,
Yeah.
what sort of things are we talking about?
memories of my life, of
And
what
your
happened
death?
in the first century, my death, yeah, they were
Your
traumatic.
resurrection.
Yes.
Have people ever said to you that that could just be a dream? You know, we all have dreams that we've been something, been somewhere, been somebody else.
Certainly, certainly they could be those things, and I've spent a lot of time hoping they were, actually, because I realise that if I said what I'm currently saying, that obviously people would generally respond with laughter and derision initially, and so of course I myself even hoped that they weren't real.
But of course, Mary, then you come into the picture, and you believe you two were meant to be. What do you remember of Jesus' first time around?
In the first century, when we
Yeah.
knew each other, I remember him as very similar to how he is now, a very humble man, a very kind man who gave a lot to others without expectation or demand upon them.
See, a lot of people
Someone-
would believe he was a celibate, and then there is a theory, of course, that he wasn't celibate, that
Yes.
he would have engaged with Mary Magdalene, for instance.
Well, he did. we got married in the first century.
I was celibate before then.
Yeah, that's true.
But to people who would be Christian and who would be offended by that sort of belief, what would you say, and what is your message to the world today?
You want to go?
Well, the primary message is that there's 2 forms of love. There's the love that comes out of the individual, given to another, and there's God's love that can enter the individual. And God's love has the power to transform not only the individual into becoming a more loving person, but also transform the world. And what we're trying to encourage people to do is to engage this process with God, of receiving love from God, and then noticing the changes that occur inside of themselves, and then sharing that love with others. So that's our primary message.
And why have you decided to tell people now that you believe you're Jesus, or that you are Jesus?
Well, I've been telling people ever since I realised, which was nearly 10 years ago. It's just now there's more media interest, I suppose, than there was before. As soon as I realised that I was Jesus, I felt I had to be honest with people about my identity, so that's what I did. And so, but in terms of sharing the divine truth with them, or God's truth with them, as soon as all of my life I've desired to do that, and I've spent a lot of my life trying to share what I felt was God's truth.
And do
with
you
others.
talk to God the Father? Are you in communication with the Father?
Yes, but not in the manner that most people believe. The language of God is love, and the communications with God have to flow through the connection with love.
Okay.
So,
Jesus, I'm sorry to wind you up or cut you off.
Sure.
Forgive me. We head to the news. We've got to do that. It has been amazing meeting you. Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah, you're all probably in shock by that video. I have a lot to say, but I'm trying to make it short because it's already past 8 minutes. And and that guy said, telling him, should I call you my Lord? Okay, first of all, in Philippians 2:11 says, and every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of the Father, the glory of God the Father. Everybody's gonna confess that Jesus Christ is Lord on heaven, on earth, and beneath the earth. And so, I don't know why he says this Jesus guy. Or if you can't tell, this is a false prophet. If you believe this, ask God for wisdom to open up your eyes, cause this is not Jesus. And he's been talking about how the coming of his coming is going to be quiet, or it's going to be it's going to be like this. But in Matthew 24:36, and it says, but about that hour, no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. Then how does this Jesus dude know that how the coming is going to be if he doesn't know when it is or how it's going to be like? God already knows everything, but he doesn't want to tell Jesus. So Jesus, the one in heaven, not the one that was just played. He's telling God, please, my church isn't ready yet. I want them to be ready. Give them a little bit more time. And and many people are going to believe that. And as it says here in Luke 21:8, and it says, he replied, "Watch out that you are not deceived, for many people will come in my name, claiming that I am he. The time is near. Do not follow him." Do not follow the false person. Many people are like, as this verse says, many people are going to claim that he is him, which is Jesus, or God, or whatever. People are going to come with this, so don't follow them, because you're obviously a false prophet, and if you follow them, then you're going to put your eye on human. And we're supposed to put our eye on God and on Jesus. And in Matthew 24, 4-5, it says, "Watch out that many..." This is also another verse that what I just read. It says, Jesus answered, "Watch out that no one deceives you, for many will come in my name, claiming I am the Messiah, and will deceive many." And that's just what it's been saying. And over here it says, and if you go up to 24:10, it says, "At the time many will turn away from the faith, and will betray and hate on each other, and many false prophets will appear and deceive many lives. Because of the increase of the weaknesses, the love of most will grow cold, but the one who stands firm to the end will be saved." Not everybody's heart is going to be, on fire for the Lord. Everybody is cold. They're either dead spiritually, or sleeping spiritually, or cold spiritually. And this verse is saying that many souls are going to be cold, and because they're going to be believing the false prophet. And many people are, since they're sleeping, since they don't know anything, because they don't read the Bible, they're going to be like, "Wow, that's actually Jesus. He actually came back on earth." But why does Jesus have to come back on earth if already paid for what he already did? He went on earth the first time so he can teach people the truth about God, and so he can die on the cross for everybody's sins. Why would Jesus come back and do it again? Like that, you just need to think about that. And in Revelation 3, 2-3, it says, "Wake up, strengthen what remains is about to die. For I have found your deeds unfinished in the sight of God." This is telling you to wake up, because so many people are dead spiritually. They're sleeping, and they don't want to wake up from that. "Remember, therefore, what you have received and heard. Behold, fast and repent. For you do not wake up. If you do not wake up, I'll come like a thief, and you will not know at what time I will come to you." So Christians, they don't know the exact date. No one knows the exact date besides God. But all we know is that, we're going to see these signs that are going to come. And if we hear the trumpets, that's Jesus Christ coming. But many people who want to follow God, people who aren't good with God, then they're not going to hear the trumpet, so they're not going to know that Jesus Christ came. And, this is just, this is just insane. Many people are going to believe that, because they're sleeping spiritually, like, wow, that's actually God, like, he actually came back again, this is actually Jesus, he's coming back again. But many people are actually going to believe that, because they don't read the Bible, and they don't know what's going to come. And this dude says that he didn't, it was just like, he said something about, like, it was like just a method or something like that. And he says he didn't actually turn water into wine. But in the Bible, that's the first miracle that Jesus did. If you want to read that, it's John 2, 1-11, and in Galatians 6:7 it says, "Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows." This man was saying, "Oh, I don't care. I'm used to it. For so many centuries, for the past 2,000 years, they've been mocking me. I'm okay." So why in Galatians and other verses around the Bible it says, "Do not be deceived, God cannot be mocked"? Then how come he's like, I'm used to it? If somebody makes fun of your father, your family, about something that offends you and your family, you're gonna stick up for them. Why would Jesus just be like, I don't care what they're talking about, God. It's at least not about me, or if it is about me, I'm still used to it. This coming is like birth pains, as it says in Matthew 24:8. all of these are the beginning of birth pains. All of the things that are happening are like birth pains. You know, like when a woman's on labor, you know, they're gonna get these pain like in the first couple of months. You know, they're gonna be smooth, and that was like many years ago. And now when the baby is about to you know, like form, like about to happen, you know, it's the pains are gonna be like, they're gonna hurt a lot. And that's how Jesus feels right now. You know, since so many people are claiming they are false prophets, that they are the Messiah, many people are you know, preaching false things, and you know, that's just his feelings. Because so many people are like, they don't want to wake up. All these pay attention, like, oh, okay, well, how does he know that Jesus is alive now? And like, wow, this is him. Like, I want to know him more. People are gonna put their eye on human, the Messiah. But what about God and Jesus? We're supposed to put our eye on him because they are perfect. And yeah, when I saw this video, that just made me think, because like so many people are actually going to believe this false thing. And like, you know, this just left me on shock though. I already know, since God already opened my eyes spiritually, I already know like, if I know the truth, obviously. So God is going to show me of what things that aren't going to be okay. You know, that's why we need to wake up. We need to follow God. We need to walk in the path of salvation. But many people, they're gonna be looking after this false Jesus. You know, if this message encouraged you today, I'm sorry it's like a little long, but like I'll try to make it short as possible. But you know, yeah, hope you have an amazing day today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, before I end the video, I forgot the most important thing. Jesus and Mary Magdalene, they never got married. You know, Mary Magdalene, she was a prostitute. She slept with many guys, and she was supposed to be put to death. But since Jesus was like, I don't know who slept with her, and all those people who wanted to kill her, since they all slept with her, you know, they ran away. So Jesus, he forgave Mary Magdalene for her sins, and she became a follower of Jesus. They never got married, you know, obviously. In the first century, you know, if you search up Jesus and Mary Magdalene getting married Bible verse, you're not gonna find anything. You know, there might be some false articles, but like in the Bible, it never said anything about them getting married. Jesus, he didn't come here to get a wife to make kids or have kids, or no. He came here to do what he had to do, which was die on the cross for everybody's sins. So everybody's sins are gonna be forgiven. And yeah, now I'll actually go. See you guys in the next video.